So last week we talked about Batman and we also mentioned Christopher Nolan's Batman a few times. Who is he? In today's episode, we're going to talk about his movies and his filmmaking styles. Let's go.
Ni hao ma.
What's up?
It's another week again.
How do you say hello in Spanish?
Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás?
All right, okay,
Well,
welcome.
you guys.
Konnichiwa.
Welcome back to the
International,
podcast.
huh?
This is the most depressing intro ever. Like, you know, like,
Mr.
welcome back to the
Mr.
podcast.
Worldwide. You know,
Yeah.
many languages.
You know what's depressing?
Bonjour.
What's depressing?
It's okay.
All right, okay.
Right, Wei Yong, kick us off.
All right,
No,
so
wrong one. What am I doing? Okay.
How
I wanted to cancel.
could you, man? How?
Okay.
Okay. So, welcome back to this week's episode of the podcast, the Three Lattes Podcast.
Yeah, if you're not here, you suck. Just kidding.
Remember the flow of socials, Instagram.
Bro, that's the most... It sounds like it's so done, man. It's like
Right,
Monday. You just can't have...
Facebook also. Facebook.
Oh yeah, we have a new Facebook page.
Yeah, so we got
a
Facebook page
Instagram.
now.
For all the boomers
At
out there.
the Three
Even I don't have a
Lattes.
Facebook page.
Yeah, but partly the reason why I like created like Facebook page is
Yeah.
because like Facebook has an issue with like, you know, I'm not gonna dive into it, but just want to say Facebook, you suck lah.
Yeah.
Okay, you
I
need
can't
to-
dive if I wanted to. I can't swim.
Okay, you need to relax. Because this guy doesn't even have Facebook. He has that, but
Wait, you don't have?
he forget his password already, man.
No,
He's like, I have
oh.
like that, bro.
I have the
I thought you
account.
did, bro.
He got a lot of
I-
stuff, but he forget password like my mom and
I
everyone.
have the account, but I forgot the
Very
password to
nice.
my account.
Yeah, bro.
Very nice, very nice.
Why do you insult your mom like that? She's a saint, bro.
You are saying also what?
Oh, okay, true.
Okay, so without further ado, let's go through our hot takes. So, yeah. Y'all can volunteer lah. Who want to go first?
I volunteer Simon. Every time I go first, no fair.
Okay. My hot take for this week is,
Yeah.
I think it might be a bit controversial. The
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man is not as great as what people say it'd be.
You mean the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man? I feel that's a very popular opinion, is it not?
I don't think...
know also.
No, because after No Way Home,
This guy,
right?
everything also push you down.
Oh, would you down?
Yeah.
Because like, after No Way Home, right?
No comment.
After No Way Home, everyone's just saying like, "Oh, bring back Andrew Garfield," you know,
Oh, you go okay,
and stuff
okay.
like that. But like
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
before
yeah.
No Way Home, like
It was pretty
It
mid,
was pretty
yeah.
meh.
Yeah.
You know, people. I for one
Maybe
still
that's why
prefer
it's
Tobey Maguire's
It's
one.
top, you know.
No, I think Andrew Garfield Spider-Man is okay. I just think the movies were not okay. Like
I think
know?
his character is very, very comparable to the comics because he's like real nerd. Like
Yeah, he's a real
Tom
geek.
Holland one is not really like super geek.
Not
It's like-
really, yeah.
And Toby is not really. But if you want to say like true comic base, maybe it's
Andrew
it's
Garfield.
Andrew lo.
Yeah, he's a bit nerdy
Yeah.
and all that.
But in terms of the story wise and the villains,
Yeah.
it's not that
God,
great.
They did what's his name?
The
Jamie Foxx.
the Electro.
Is his name Electro?
Electro?
Forgot, but they did him dirty, man. Honestly.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx. Yes,
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx.
He became orange in No Way Home. He's actually blue.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
realize, but...
That's hilarious.
well, that's your hot take.
How about
Yeah.
you, Wei Yong?
Sure. Okay, I'll go first. I'll go second.
Beat you to the punch.
Okay. Hot take. Going overseas for studies might not necessarily be the best, but it depends on who lah. For me, it's not
I
lah.
totally agree with that.
Yeah, that's might be it might make me sound like, you know, I'm jealous that other people are going overseas.
Are you?
I am, of course, because I want to go also. but then
I guess
It's like,
there's
how-
a partial feeling of jealousy, but then like
yeah,
I think that's common with everyone. What?
Yeah, but
especially
then-
if your friends are going overseas, then it's like, oh man.
but that's like the initial, how to say, like
it's like a
I
jerk
don't know
reaction, right?
for both of you lah, but that's what
Uh-huh.
always my dad always tell me, like, always go overseas.
But do
Yeah.
you think that sometimes, like, you know, like, I mean, people who go overseas, right? Like, they either go overseas because they're like, oh, see you sakas, I'm not gonna come back to Malaysia anymore, or like they go overseas because like, how say parents just say, oh, you get more experience there, man, stuff like that. But then like,
Which is kind of true, I feel.
I mean,
It's not.
it
It's
is
not
true
totally
that
bad.
the more
you know.
you explore the world, you gather experience, you experience culture, different lifestyles, and all these different things. But
I want to see how you pin this as a negative. Let's see.
I don't know. As a negative for me, I just feel like as a person, I mean, just all boils down to money lah. Really.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
for
If
my-
you can afford it,
From
you
the
can.
financially point of view, like
And-
it's not the.
But you also have to be smart, lah. Like not everybody.
Yeah, and another thing is also I feel like
yeah, that's why I
if
say
you
it depends
if
on
you
who.
really want to go overseas, right? Like, are you not contented with where you are?
I mean, yeah. Like I'm not contented where I am.
So it's all about contentment lah. I mean, you grow up in Malaysia.
As much as I love this
your
island,
homeland.
as much as I
But we are
love
going.
this island,
We are
it's-
gonna be in Malaysia anyway. So
No, I'm just saying, like people, like I have friends that left Penang to go to like the States and like Melbourne and stuff like that. I feel like, yeah, please go. Like there's nothing left for you here.
I mean, you never know lah.
Yeah, I mean, it's down to people lah. But
Yeah,
It's
you
a
know,
highly debatable.
yeah, I mean,
So
obviously it boils down to
depends on
money.
who.
yeah, it really boils down to
I mean,
money lah.
it boils down to money as well. but
Just know that if you don't have the money to go overseas and like you really want to go overseas, like
don't make it like
don't make it like it's the
Yeah,
okay,
correct.
yeah,
Don't make it
don't-
like it's a must to go.
yeah, it's not a must. It's
And
more
if
of
if you really want to go overseas and you don't have the money, then do something about it. You know.
Maybe
Yeah.
you can work.
Yeah,
work,
get
work
some money.
first, get us some money.
Yeah,
get
be
some
be
cash.
real with yourself, like you know.
Because
Yeah.
there's so much to pay for, man. when
Yeah,
you go
because
overseas.
everyone can go overseas, everyone will be overseas.
Yeah,
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
there won't be anybody in
You
Malaysia
won't be
anymore.
here also. lah.
Bro, yeah, man.
Okay,
that's
how about you, lah?
Okay, Vinod.
My hot take of the day is: have you ever tried pumpkin spice latte?
No.
Yes.
You know how everybody's like, oh my gosh, what an overrated white gold drink.
So you like lah.
I actually like it.
It's
Yeah, it's
a
okay,
nice
not
drink.
bad.
I mean,
It's
if it's
really
not
good.
overrated,
Pretty
it's
good.
actually really good.
But I get embarrassed ordering it.
Oh, is it?
Nah, I
I'm
don't
like-
think you should, bruh.
I'm like pumpkin spice latte.
Nah,
Vinod Rahman.
I give them
Vinod.
I give them a fake name like
Not
Tan
me.
Wei Yong.
Tan Wei Yong.
That's for him.
Who's this
But then you think
ordering
that-
this?
And then when you get a latte, I just exchange.
You get a latte. You get a latte.
Yeah. Honestly, you guys should try pumpkin spice latte. It's actually pretty good.
But it's a limited edition thing, no man.
It does come out
It's a
during,
seasonal drink.
During what? Autumn?
Do we have an autumn?
I mean, during the season of autumn.
During
Oh, yeah.
what's that?
August, October.
Fall season.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
fall. Yeah. Sorry, fall. Autumn. Yeah.
So
Does anybody even call it autumn anymore? It's just fall.
Nerds.
so here we have our hot takes. I think it's like 3 different hot takes. Like
Yeah, no shit. There's 3 of us.
like different aspects. Like yours is about drink.
Oh, you mean like okay.
Mine is about-
Usually we just talk about food.
Yours
like,
is about what again?
Mine's about Spider-Man.
Yeah, so it's all 3 different things. But okay, let's get straight into our topic of the day.
which is
Yay.
So Christopher Nolan.
Talking about the man, the CH.
Who is he? So we mentioned him a few times like last episode and also a few other episodes back where we talked about movies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna first intro him to whoever that might not know who he is. Right, so who wanna go first?
You wanna go?
So who is Christopher Nolan?
So Christopher Nolan is a British filmmaker. He's a director, right? And I don't know, man. It's very hard to like. Do I need to give him his biography? I don't know.
Yeah, it's more like we are giving him his biography. Guys, just Google.
Yeah, so he is a
all you need
It's
to
not
know.
because we didn't do our research, but it's because we want you to be Rajin enough and to go to Google.
Also,
to
like
just search on
if
Wikipedia.
I give you his place of birth, does that really matter to you all? I don't know.
Yeah.
maybe not lah,
Totally
but,
makes sense.
I
but
guess.
I think
If I told you he was born in Penang Street, does it matter to you? It doesn't matter.
We'll just be like, oh, he's a
Yeah.
Malaysian
all you
British
need to know.
director.
All you need to know is a really good filmmaker.
Yeah, he's a
He's a
director.
British filmmaker. He writes his own film,
Yeah,
and
he
usually
produces for people as well.
yeah, and usually he writes his films with his brother, and it's
yes,
produced
yes.
by his wife as well,
yeah,
Emma Thomas. Yeah,
Mm.
that's all you need to know.
that's a fun
Yeah.
fact. So
Well, very
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, that's the quickest intro, man. Okay, thank you everyone for coming to the podcast. That's all you need to know.
I'm just
I
gonna be
think
frank with y'all lah. I didn't do my
What
research.
are like his famous movies, man?
Famous movies, all of them actually. Like,
Okay,
think
say
about
a
it.
few lah for whoever that listening.
Actually,
so
he
that-
came out with very minor movies. First one, he wasn't like a huge director or anything so forth. Only when only when like he was pitched he was pitched like Batman Begins and like The Dark Knight. Then I think that's where he started getting
I think Memento was like a breakthrough film though.
Memento. Memento also, yeah.
I feel like lah,
Memento is when
2020, 2002.
Okay. Is that the one
but I
Hugh
think his
Jackman
name
one?
got bigger when, of course, when he did
No,
the
that's
Dark Knight lah.
Prestige.
Oh.
Sorry.
I feel his name got bigger when he did the Dark Knight lah.
Yeah,
Like,
obviously, like when you direct like a comic book film, your name's like.
yeah, when it's like incredibly big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's
Wait, sorry,
already like,
Memento was 2000.
okay,
Mm.
that's like 22 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow, quick math.
So yeah, you mentioned Batman, you mentioned Memento or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Memento.
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 You want a mento?
You want a manto?
Mentos?
Manto?
So so you talk about all these movies, right?
Yeah.
Which movie is the first one that you watch like is his one?
Ah, that's interesting. Okay. Why not, Vinod, you go first.
Memento.
Memento?
When do you watch it? When do you watch it?
Memento.
Okay, go.
Memento. Memento.
If you can recall, when do you watch it and where do you watch it?
I can't.
Oh, it's too long ago, dear.
It's too long,
Too long ago.
I think I was.
You were a
still,
young boy,
I think I was like.
Vinod Junior.
Young Vinod, no.
I was from 1 or 2, so I was probably 13 or 14. So that's like 7 or 8 years ago. The where obviously I don't know lah. But
Watch it
yeah.
on CD.
Yeah,
Probably like
probably DVD. I had
DVD,
DVD,
yeah.
that time.
DVD.
Probably DVD.
How about you,
Man,
Simon?
DVD sounds so foreign.
So
bro.
for yours is Memento. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
That's the first film of him I watched.
First film, okay.
I think for me, I want to say, I think it was Batman Begins first. Good. Like I never really knew him much until like I stumbled upon the Batman stuff,
Mm.
and
Batman,
then
2008.
I started like searching more of his own
5.
things. You know, like
five, ah. Okay, the
Memento,
second one.
Prestige, Inception, Interstellar. He doesn't have many movies.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
because he takes his time to
Very selective, huh?
perfect his craft.
That's true.
And also, like, I mean, we'll dive into this later, lah. You know, discussing his filmmaking style. I'll talk about this later. But yeah, it's just that he really takes his time. So there's not much is in his catalog, but whatever that is in his catalog, it's good stuff.
That's like 11 films. In
Okay,
this.
same question.
Mm.
When do you watch it? Do you remember? Talk to us
I
about
think
your
I was
experience.
probably
If you can remember, lah.
I think I was probably in my babysitter's house, like when I was much
Whoa.
younger, maybe like
Whoa.
primary school. I think
Primary school, you
I remember.
Simon Peter Jr.
I remember watching like Batman Begins first.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh, primary school, he also can remember, man.
yeah, I think so. Like, it's very faint lah to me, the memory.
But that was like the first time, lah.
yeah.
But
the
then,
very first
If you watch that young, do you know who is Christopher Nolan?
No.
no, I was
So it's
just
only
like,
after
"Ooh,
that lah,
Batman."
right?
To be honest, I didn't give a shit about directors until like 2 or 3 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like me also last
My
time.
filmmaking pull up. My film knowledge only
Knowledge.
extended over the last
Yeah.
3 years or so. So before that, I was just like
Yeah.
anyone, just go theater, watch movie, go Netflix, watch movie, chill. You know, didn't really give a shit about anything else.
So how did you find out? Do you find out just because of the movie, or you like suddenly like, hey, you stumble upon something?
Actually, it's a
or
funny
something?
story. Christopher Nolan texted me.
Yeah.
Very funny, eh?
I watched Memento was his first
Yeah.
movie I watched, but
Does
I watched. I watched Batman Begins first.
oh
That's true. Yeah, I watched Batman Begins first. Memento was the
Ha, ha,
earlier
ha.
film, but I watched it later in my.
okay.
But
So
I think it's on Batman. Like I watched the Batman trilogy, and that's when I was like, oh, the same guy directed all these 3 films. I was like, oh wow, what a great director. And then after that, because until The Dark Knight Rises, he made like 10 or 8 films. I don't know. So I didn't
Okay.
really watch anything before that. So, but then he made Inception in between Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
serious,
He
ah?
made Inception in between. So I was familiar with Inception. And then when you watch a film like Inception, you just automatically want to know who did this.
Yeah.
Like who made this.
Oh, generally, like, if you want to know whether it's a Nolan film as well, like, you know, like, the actors who's in the film.
Cillian Murphy.
yo, that's
Cillian
one
Murphy,
thing I
Christian
figure out.
Bale.
lah.
All the time.
We got
What's the Alfred guy, the old guy? What's his name?
Michael Caine.
Michael
Ah,
Caine.
yeah.
Michael Caine. Yeah, Michael
And then
Caine.
got the one lady, the Inception, the
I keep forgetting
Leonardo
all like
DiCaprio
their
wife.
names,
What's her name? She appeared in Batman also.
Madeleine Cotillard. She's a French actress.
Yeah, a lot of them like I think it's not just Christopher Nolan. I think some
They
of
usually
the
reuse it.
directors
Yes,
they like
yes.
to work with that certain group of people.
Because it's good actors.
Yeah.
It's good actors.
And it's a good rapport with them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So for your your son is Batman lah. So Batman Begins.
Batman Begins. But I first took notice when I watched Inception and I went back and I was like, who made this stuff? Like who conceived this thing? And then I was like, Christopher Nolan. Oh, this guy made Batman films as well. It's like no wonder those films were good. And then after that, like I just look forward to every one of his films.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
So for mine is Tenet.
Wow.
All also like 2 years ago.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's okay. So that means you didn't know.
I didn't know.
Wow.
Hey, you know, and I actually
lah.
watched Inception like
Couple of times.
a bit, not a couple of times, a bit lah, like last time before. So it's like I know the existence of
The time when I had to
Inception,
watch, I had to watch Inception a lot was because of like an assignment for
Oh, okay.
for
So-
college.
Tenet. I was in a cinema lah. I watched with my friends lah. So I watched like, whoa my, this thing.
Isn't the first
Oh
film?
my, this
Isn't
thing.
that the first film to come in the theaters during the pandemic?
Oh yeah.
It's the first one, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's like
I
I
wanted
watched
to
it.
tune
I
in.
was like so
I
mind
wanted to
blown,
watch
you know,
it, but
like
then I
I
was just like, yeah.
because I
Yeah.
never really like focus on much movies. Like, and this is the first movie I focus on. Like, oh my, I cannot get.
Oh, wait. So Tenet was your first Christopher Nolan experience?
yeah.
Damn.
Wow, that's interesting.
So I was like, whoa, this thing.
Reverse bullet, what?
It goes in a circle, man. And like, oh,
I'm not gonna lie.
you are here because you.
It's very time.
You're watching yourself?
No, I watch with my friends.
No, I'm like in the movie, he's like watching himself in reverse. I'm like, wait,
I
what?
was like, bro, half of the movie is already been shown.
what is going on? I had to watch it like 3 times just to understand. By the time I was watching, by the third time I was watching it, I wasn't even enjoying it. I was like, okay, so what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
I keep
dissecting
asking
it,
my friends, man,
digesting
you know
it properly.
Jay, right? Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep asking like, oh, what's happening in the car ride back home? Trying to decipher this thing, man.
Yeah, you
What?
just got Christopher Nolan.
Yeah. So that was my first one.
Yeah.
Kena mind blown. Then only after that, then Junan was there. I think Junan. Then he told me, hey, this is like the same guy that do Inception lah. So oh yeah,
Oh.
that's why. It's like, oh, you know, like, oh, okay, it's the same genius lah that do all this kind of movie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yes, sir.
mine is cinema, and then mine is very recent
Yeah,
compared to
Tenet,
both
yeah.
of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yours is Batman. Yours is the Batman. I think all of us have like different encounter, like different first encounter with Nolan.
But I think if you ask most people, I think probably they know him because of the
Which one?
The dark. Either
Batman,
either Inception or Batman. It's either these two.
Yeah, Red, he'll be known, like people know him for like either Memento or Prestige lah.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably not. Yeah.
Memento is so long ago. That you said 2000.
2022 years
Prestige
ago.
is how long? 2002
2006.
or 2006.
Mm.
So quite long ago. Even I watched like some of the YouTube video, like they show like some of these old movies. It's quite long ago, and like if I don't know about the Christopher Nolan, I wouldn't go back and like go search that movie
Yeah.
and watch. You know, you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's
Yep.
only like, oh, you know that it's Christopher Nolan, then you only slowly find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think those old movies are not as popular like compared to
Unless you are a film buff, like
Yeah,
maybe it's
yeah.
different.
Correct.
Yeah.
Nolan, man. We all watch different movies. Okay, what Nolan movies have you all watched?
All of it except Following. Yeah. Following was his first film he ever made.
Wow.
Wow.
I didn't-
Okay.
All of it, man.
I definitely have not watched a lot of his films. I would say more of the recent ones, but even just from the recent ones, you kind of get the idea of like, his like taste for cinema and his sort of like just his touch on films.
Yeah.
So like I didn't watch like Memento. I didn't watch Prestige, or maybe I did, but kind of like maybe
Forget lah.
Yeah, but definitely like through the trilogy, you know, and Inception, Interstellar, Dunkirk, you kind of get the vibe of like
It's a Nolan film.
like when you sort of hear this word, you don't even you just hear these like movie titles, right? You don't even have to know. You don't
Wow.
you don't even have to hear
So
Christopher
you hear
Nolan.
movie titles,
Yeah,
you
you
do
just
it.
it's a Nolan film. You know, it's just
Inception and Interstellar, like
Oh yeah, Interstellar.
it's
also,
like a
not bad.
Christopher Nolan title. Like nobody
Yeah,
else
yeah.
names
Oh,
their
is it?
movies like that. Honestly,
It's like,
Yeah.
not bad.
like
huh?
Tenet,
Interesting,
even
man.
because it's
Interesting.
spelled the same.
that.
Yeah.
Because it's so interesting.
Like, wow, this guy.
Because it's so interesting. Like,
Backward also same. Oh, This guy
Wait a
genius.
minute! Oh!
How
What
come
a
I didn't
genius! He's f***ing with me from the start. Oh my god, I dropped an F-bomb.
That was like my reaction lah.
Oh man.
It's so stupid because it's so obvious, but then people are like, do you know Tenet spelled backward is still Tenet? I'm like, wait!
No!
This guy
what is
tricked me.
life?
I watched 2 hours of movie. Actually, the real movie is 1 hour plus only. Ay.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's true.
But generally, like, you know,
Yeah.
who would make like a film so complicated like Inception in
Yeah.
a way? Inception is a dream within a dream, and then
It's so hard to conceptualize.
yeah.
That's why it takes so long to make films because the writing process is
Yeah,
so...
even Interstellar also, bro. Like Interstellar is very purely just cinematic. It's like cinema in a way.
So you didn't. So you watched all the
in
recent one
Interstellar,
lah.
he basically consulted a scientist that's an expert in like
Black holes.
black holes, and they basically invented an equation.
Yeah. Then
Who
the hell
it
does-
was that
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
put
correct.
into like
I read
a
up. I read
graphics
that
thing,
up also.
you know, to make the graphic the black hole and like, you know, CGI and all
Yeah,
these
yeah.
different things.
They
yeah.
consulted real professionals
That's
to like
pretty cool.
like also like who the hell does that?
Yeah.
So committed to the cause.
yeah.
Yeah. So you were saying that like how you you read you hear the title, you didn't know it's Christopher
Yeah, yeah,
Nolan.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So
Like, I kid you not, when I heard the word Tenet, I knew
Yeah.
that it was Christopher Nolan's film.
so you're gonna dive in deeper,
Mm.
talk about the filmmaking style.
Okay.
So what makes you like you watch already? It's like, oh man, it's this guy.
I think for me it's just that when I watch the film, I don't know. Number one, I think is you know the actors, like the actors are either familiar.
It's the
actors.
same people.
Yeah.
It's almost the same, right? Like,
Yeah, I think he'll call back.
Almost.
Call back maybe some of the people. I don't know whether like there were familiar actors in Tenet. I'm not so sure.
Maybe not lah.
No.
No, right?
I think
It's
Tenet they
fresh
he
actors.
used a
Interesting. Yeah, no.
He used
Maybe
a
it's because
fresh
like, you know,
cast.
their contract over already good, something like that, you know.
Maybe he just wanted new fresh faces.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
new
But-
era. Who knows?
Yeah. To me, it's like every time I watch like a Christopher Nolan film, to me it's pure cinema
Mm.
because I like how he likes to shoot things in IMAX, and he always likes to shoot like especially like the scenes where like it shows either a view or maybe a fighting scene or something like that. You always switch to the IMAX camera, and after that you crop back in again. Especially if
Very technical, man.
yeah. And
IMAX crop.
and I'm very and especially like if you watch his films, you know that he is a huge advocate of doing real life effects,
practical
like practical effects.
Okay.
That's why everyone always like online always make jokes about him, like, you know, if he wants to like film explosion or something,
Yeah,
right? He literally like take
He
a
will literally
nuclear
bring
bomb.
the explosion.
Yeah,
one,
literally
ah.
explode.
It's like if he wants to crash an airplane, he will literally bring an airplane to
Yeah,
crash
just
it.
for the sake of maybe 15-second shot.
Yeah, he doesn't. It's not a big
This
fan
guy,
of.
man.
It's not a big fan of CGI.
Yeah. But he used
Right.
CGI very tastefully, lah. Like for
Yeah,
example,
it is.
Interstellar, for example, you know, and you realize in all of his films, like I think if I'm not wrong,
Mm-hmm.
it always has a serious like undertone. It's not like it's not funny or it's not anything. It's just
Yo.
cinema. It's like
That
it's
is
drama,
true, man.
serious, and like, you know, in a way like very like just, I don't know, just cinema. Like you want, it's something that you go into the cinema to watch, and then you come out and you're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Christopher
Just
Nolan. I
cinema.
think he has a
Boom.
few touches that makes him special. I think the first thing you realize when you watch his films is that most of his films are set like in an urban setting. He doesn't really do a lot of like country village side films. Like probably the only exception is Dunkirk.
Dunkirk and Tenet.
Tenet was an urban film.
Oh, Tenet was urban.
Correct.
Tenet was urban. Dunkirk,
Yeah.
because it was a war film, right?
Correct.
Even The Prestige, even though the timeline was...
Interstellar was a big countryside as well. Like the sort of like
At
the
first,
petty
I mean, it's a
feel.
space travel film at the
Yeah.
heart of it, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't call it. But like even in The Prestige, it was the story takes place in the 1800s, but then it was the urban 1800s. You know, he always likes that setting.
Okay.
Because I think he likes that fast paced.
Mm.
You know, he doesn't do a lot of slow, like his pacing, his narrative style throughout his filmography is always fast paced. Not very fast, but like you kind of travel along with it. to the point where every movie is like 2 hours plus, but then it doesn't feel like it's really 2 hours plus. Except maybe Interstellar. Interstellar felt a bit slow.
Yeah, man, I texted you yesterday. I was like, wow, this movie cannot end.
That film was 3 hours long.
This movie cannot end.
Interstellar, is it?
Yeah, it was 3 hours long.
Yeah, Interstellar felt like Interstellar felt like maybe like at the middle or like close to the end. It was like borderline draggy already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I loved it though. I watched it in the theater. Imagine how I feel.
Oh, in the theater.
Can't even move around. But it was a good film that I really loved it. And it's kind of film that you kind of watch it. You have to watch it in the cinema. That's why you said like he makes his movies are very cinematic. It's meant to be watched in the cinema.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. And what's I feel is the Nolan touch is that his films, the premise of his films are always, I think 80% of the time is always complex, sophisticated ideas.
Yeah.
Right? It's always complex and sophisticated ideas to the point where the audience were like, oh, what is this about? Right?
Wow.
But
Kena mind blown.
But at the heart of it is a very simple human story. At the heart of his films are simple human emotions and characters.
Take like Dunkirk for example. Dunkirk is just about the time when they were like the soldiers were all
History
abandoned.
lesson.
They were all abandoned at the beach.
What happened in
I think
Dunkirk?
Dunkirk or something like that.
Yeah, but if you look
And
back,
it was just that spot. You know.
like if you look at Inception, whoa, lucid dreaming, damn, what a concept. Dream within a dream. Think about it, the premise is a group of thieves that rob you in your dream.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's a crazy premise, right?
Yeah.
And then you look at all this how they have lucid dreams and like how they hack into your subconscious and everything.
Yeah.
It's a crazy premise, right?
Correct.
But at the heart of it, what's the story about? It's about a man trying to get over his wife's death
man.
and reuniting with his children.
Yeah.
What a simple story. But you look at how he presents it with this interesting premises, right? And then
Yeah.
look at Interstellar. Interstellar is what? It's a movie about black hole and space travels and all these complex, sophisticated ideas that even now we can't explain.
To this day, I still don't understand what Nolan
But
was
what
trying
is
to
the
tell
point
you
of the
in
film? What is the
Interstellar.
heart of the film? It's a story of a man and his daughter.
And his daughter.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
And then if you look at
sorry, man.
And then if you look at Prestige, the Prestige is about a world of magicians in the 1860s. It's a film about magicians, but the magic is there, but it's not really about the magic. It's about the relationship between his two actors, his two characters, their competition and the rivalry between them. Like he presents films with this sophisticated ideas that make you engage. But why you stay through the course is because of the story within the premise, and which is so engaging. It's so simple, but it's I feel like that's why he takes his time to write his films, because to present these ideas in this way is one thing, but also to make it like convinced that this is a film with a real story is also another thing. So I think that's where Christopher Nolan is. I think that's one of the Christopher Nolan like trademarks.
That's a good point.
Wow.
Yeah.
You say a lot back there. But
Yeah.
that's I also agree with you after watching 2-3 Christopher Nolan films for like the past few days. Binge watch like most of it. And yeah, I agree with what both of you said. You said about how the story is around. It's quite simple, but it's a premise that is it will mind blown you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's very cinema. Like at one point I watched one YouTube video. They were like, some people were like complaining like how some movies, right, their dialogue cannot be heard properly.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's
Tenet, right?
That's a problem
In
in
Christopher
all
Nolan
movies.
movie lah.
Yeah, I think his audio mixing is a
Right.
bit.
But also like he also will say that he mixed the audio in a way where he want it to be heard like in a maybe like in a cinema or in a
that's true.
in a certain like sound system kind of thing.
That's true. That's true.
Like, I think that's what he said lah.
If you watch his films in TV, like on your TV set, you can't really hear the dialogue.
But if you have a good set of headphones, like things
yours.
with like they've got bass, at least maybe
Not this
at least a decent cans, something like Sony's or maybe the Audio Technicas, like you put them on and you can just hear everything.
Yeah, but I think that goes to show how
just
much
hear Zimmer's score.
how much effort he puts, into like the details, like the sound and all. So okay, so now we're gonna go into
Into
favorite your favorite Christopher Nolan films.
Hey.
You can go for, I don't know, you want to go for top 3 or you want to go for
Wow, 5.
What do you think?
5 a bit hard.
3 lah. Let's do 3 lah.
3.
So
Yeah, we
how
can
you
do
want to do it?
Let's go from you.
From
and
me?
then we come
Yeah,
this way.
because
So
we
I should go-
we go last with him because he always talk very long.
I should go like 3 or like we
Yeah.
go 1 1
We can go. Okay.
we go 3 3 3 2
Yeah,
2 2 1
3
1
3
1.
3. Yeah, 3 3 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
My 3 got 2 already, man.
What the heck?
Okay. What?
Tenet slash
My brain.
Tenet slash Inception.
Okay.
That's my
okay.
third. That's
okay.
my third one.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
Interesting.
Okay,
Okay.
you next.
Why?
Oh, you want me to explain why
Yeah,
as well?
maybe
lah?
just like just explain like
I thought
maybe like
like-
a sentence or two or like why.
Sentence or 2 Okay, let me phrase. I'm just kidding.
I like Tenet. I like Inception.
Next.
Tenet is because it's my first Christopher Nolan film.
Nolan film.
And I really kena mind blown. And
Okay.
it stays with me, man.
Okay. Man, I wish I can say something about Tenet, but I just didn't have
You didn't-
time to watch.
okay.
I didn't
So
have time to watch.
Inception is like I really like the whole idea of like dreams and all and like
Yeah.
and also like the way they did it right. When I watch a movie,
Mhm.
they talk about how like the dream thing work, right? Like I feel relate, like I feel like I relate to it, like you're like, oh man, that might be happening in my dream, like get what I
Yeah.
mean?
I think it's
Yeah.
time I confess lah. I've been stealing your shit and your dreams, man.
That's why lah.
Oh.
I need a totem, man. But yeah, I think it's a very
Yeah.
like you said, it surrounds like
I mean, you think about it,
idea.
Inception is basically a heist film, but
Correct.
how do they
Yeah,
conduct
in-
the heist? Is
But
so...
in like a very, very different sense of like,
It's
you know,
so
being a heist.
First, they want to steal. After that, instead of stealing, they say they want to plant the idea.
plan is
Yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
that alone, mind blowing.
And that's how like they steal from someone. They plant
Yeah.
the idea.
Then
It's crazy.
it revolves around like the different personnel.
What an efficient way to rob someone.
Yeah. And it's not an
Super
easy job,
efficient.
like they struggled like a lot and a lot of things didn't go to plan. And that's like the whole like, the climax, the things happening
Okay,
and all.
since yours Inception, right? Okay, there's a whole debate in the film fraternity. It's like, the last frame is the totem spinning.
So
Do you think it's
Is it a
real?
dream
Is it
or
a
is
dream
it
or is it
real,
in real
right?
life? What do you think?
I
it's
think
real life.
it's real.
It's real life. It's real life.
I think it doesn't matter.
I think it's real life.
Correct, right?
I think
Does
it
it
matter.
matter?
Because I think Christopher Nolan did that intended like intentionally to be like, y'all decide.
'Cause at
y'all
the end,
decide what y'all want.
He's
Actually-
back with his
actually-
kids.
Actually, Michael Caine did point out, I don't know when lah, but he did point out that
He did. Let me
that
search, bro.
any scenes where he's in it,
It's real.
it's real.
Oh, true. That is true. Yeah.
It's real.
But at
I
least
think
he's
Michael
back with his
Caine
kids lah.
intentionally like put that as his last frame because he wanted the audience to be like, what do you think happens? Like you
Correct.
decide your happy
could be
ending.
like
you
that
know?
Yeah, that's
You
the
decide
not
your
bad
happy
way to
ending,
end,
you know?
let
Like,
you
yeah.
decide.
But
Yeah.
you can see the totem actually slowing down, and it was sort of
Exactly.
like
Yeah, that's
this
true.
one already. So
but the
definitely,
debate,
still a-
the
still a
debate
big
is just
debate.
like the debate is just like
or the debate is
It
maybe
has
like,
been spinning
is
for
he
so
still
long.
in here? Maybe he's already in real life,
Yeah.
but is he still living in that?
Yeah, and like,
you know?
and what are the
Yo.
possibilities? Michael Caine is just messing with you. You know? like actors do that, you know. You have no
then
idea.
at the end of the movie, he's just like, I see you there. Then the word Inception just changed to Michael Caine.
Yeah, like I think I almost think it doesn't matter. Like for a while, I was like, real dream.
yeah.
No, it doesn't matter. Like, it's a good film.
It's
Yeah, it's a good
It's
film.
like sidetrack a bit. It's like Joker, the
How?
Joaquin Phoenix Joker. No, the ending. I mean,
Oh,
so it's like it let you decide
Yeah.
if it's this or that. Like they won't like, tell you like what is it.
The ending of Joker was like basically like I remember he was just like
It's like an
people-
open ending. It was
people
more. It's more
carry-
like,
It was
it was
an
more
open
like
ending,
this is it. Like where the story takes
Actually, I'm
off.
curious
it's up
what
to
they're
you.
gonna do that.
And then it's so it's like
Crazy.
they sidetrack also the debate where it goes like, whatever happened to Joker, right?
Uh-huh.
Does it actually happen or it's just all in his
head.
Yeah, so that was
oh
like,
my
up
god.
to you decide lah. Like
Is he
because
cuckoo?
he's so ma, like
Is he cuckoo or is
it
it
might
real?
everything might just happen in his head only.
Yeah.
You get what I
Oh
mean?
wait, no, the ending he went to prison, right?
He was in
he was in a
hospital, no meh?
hospital, like mental this
Hospital,
one.
prison, So at the end,
Oh.
it works like that. It works the same way. So yeah, it's cool
Which is
lah.
also a reason why I feel the movie that film doesn't need a sequel, but that's another day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
kind of a
So
thing in
that's
this
for
one.
my third one. Got 2 movies. How about you?
I think the third for me is Dunkirk.
Wow.
I love. I think I'm gonna make that in the put that in the soundboard. Wow.
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 Hey,
Owen Wilson.
I started
Wow.
my binge with Dunkirk, man.
Yeah, Dunkirk is. I love
good.
war shows.
Same.
I'm a huge fan of war movies. Dunkirk, 1917.
I like Fury.
Huh?
I like Fury.
Oh, the
Fury.
Brad Pitt one.
Yeah, a lot.
Fury is
Or
really
like
good.
generally, I just really love like either war films or like war games. I'm a huge fan of like the Medal of Honor series.
Nerd.
Huge fan of
Wow.
like the
Just kidding.
old, not the new
Like
one,
this
the
lah.
old Call of Duty series.
Yeah.
Wow,
The
Call of
old
Duty.
Battlefield series, things regarding like the war. It's just, I don't know, it just feels sometimes when you get too modern with like this modern warfare stuff, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't have that feeling of like, oh, it's like grounded kind of like historical feeling. It's just like it's a make believe, this might be what it is, And
People
in a way-
die in wars, man.
Yeah.
he needs his rifle to like not be so modern.
So I really love Dunkirk because if you watch Dunkirk properly, there's not much dialogue.
Doesn't
Bro.
have to.
There's not much dialogue.
It's a visual spectacle.
The first part of the first part of the movie.
You just
the
feel
guy didn't talk,
you just
man.
feel the war. You just feel
Correct.
it's as if you are in
And
the setting of the war
and
itself.
it's also like
frightening.
the sound design. And
It's
all.
crazy how like
the sound design.
yeah. It's crazy how like most of his friends like died and he was just running for his life.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Dunkirk, man, and Dunkirk. I really like it also. But
Yeah.
how about you? Your third one.
Interstellar.
Oh, Interstellar. Okay.
I had to pick between Interstellar and Inception.
But you cannot, you choose one.
I could have went with the stroke thing, but I'm not a pussy. Just kidding.
Sure.
Just kidding.
You,
Like, I know.
You happy, Candy?
No, I think Interstellar / Inception.
okay,
I
I
cannot
get
like
Serious.
You cannot
Oh,
decide.
cannot
interesting.
decide.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool, 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 cool.
Interstellar because I feel like there's one of those films that's like truly cinematic.
It's
That
unique.
is true.
It's
It's
a very
true.
The
unique
world building and all. The
Yeah,
world.
it's like you
Oh.
feel like you're in outer. There's not a lot of space films that make me feel like, oh, I'm in outer space right now, right? It doesn't depict the space.
And then at the ending, some more, the world is literally just like
yeah,
curve,
like it
what?
messes with you, but also like from like a film standpoint,
The lattices, man.
like
Yeah.
like
Oh, the
okay,
what
you know
is
what's my
this?
favorite? You know
I
what's
don't
my
get it,
favorite
man.
scene of ever? Like my top 10 favorite scenes is in this film.
Which one?
It was the moment they landed on the water planet.
Then the wave one.
The wave came. They were like,
Oh.
look at those hills. I'm like, no, that's a wave. I'm like,
It's like
oh
tsunami,
my
man, like
gosh.
mountain.
Oh,
Oh my.
that was freaking scary for me. It's
Yeah,
like,
bro.
It's not even a horror film, but I felt like I'm in a horror film because I was like, imagine I'm there, I'm so screwed.
Yeah.
Like, and
This
in
planet
water,
they
and,
did,
he's
bro.
trying to, and she's trying to collect data, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's a spectacle. It's truly crazy, and then. You can feel the pain of Matthew McConaughey's character being like, for every moment I'm here, my daughter's growing older and I can't be there to witness it.
Correct.
It's painful.
Yeah.
1 hour on the planet is 7 hours on Earth.
Yeah, and it's
Damn.
painful. And you realize the scene where he was seeing his daughter from the past,
Yeah.
like through like
The fourth
bookshelf.
dimension.
yeah,
The fourth-
yeah, and, and he's trying to
dimension,
communicate
something
with her,
Yeah.
and he just couldn't. Like, he doesn't know how to do it.
So you have to
And it's
send
like-
through code.
Yeah, it's sent through like Morse code and
Yeah,
stuff. I'm
yeah.
like, that's so like, I'm like, please get it. Please get the message. It's so anxiety and like
Race
inducing.
against time, no?
Yeah. And like the visual spectacles of it, like I think of all space films, that's the one I think like truly captures.
Other than Space Odyssey.
What's that?
But that
man?
was 1960s, you know.
I mean,
so
that's the
I don't
classic,
wanna, I don't wanna compare that because
Yeah, yeah.
1960s the
Yeah,
tech
just
is
broke.
different.
Yeah.
But I think it's in terms of space visuals and even the sound design, you feel like in space. I think that's the one.
I
Definitely.
texted him, man. I cannot jump scare by the sound, you know.
Seriously.
when Matt Damon was fixed, like want a dog and because after that it was silent, you know. Suddenly boom, the whole explosive, right? I was like, oh
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
I was watching, I was like, oh my, I cannot jump scare, man.
Then
By the
for-
sound only way.
And for Inception, it's basically whatever you said. Plus Hans Zimmer's score, crazy.
Mhm.
And Leonardo DiCaprio's acting, also crazy.
Goat, man. That
Yeah.
That's a film I could watch any day and not be bored of it. I'm like, damn, how do you all
You
do
can
this?
rewatch like
You know the
anytime,
rotating rooms in the hotel, that scene
Oh man.
in that
yeah.
dream. I was like,
Yeah.
it's not CG. They literally they build a set
They built like a
where
set
they
where the
do,
thing
right?
can move.
rotating.
Yeah, the
so
thing
it was
moves.
like a
That's like
that's crazy.
His
Like,
filmmaking.
how does he come up with this stuff?
his
You know,
filmmaking style also.
Yeah.
Always like to do this.
always
like,
innovative. You know?
turning,
There's
you
always
know.
something
Very-
new in his films. It's
Yeah.
so good. But yeah, that's my 3/4.
Cool.
Okay, I'm gonna go very fast second because we talked about Dark Knight.
Okay, all right.
Dark Knight is a Joker, right?
Yeah.
That's the one. That's the
I'll
one.
add on to that as well. My
Okay.
second is The Dark Knight. Yeah.
Yeah. How
Same.
about you? Ah,
Oh,
same,
seriously?
ah.
Oh, okay.
Dark Knight.
Press the sound effect, bro.
Dark Knight's my second best film.
Okay.
So I don't think we need to go through that because we talked
Yeah,
about it
we
last
talked about it last
episode.
week already.
So my
you
first
know,
one,
The Dark Knight.
my
Yeah.
first one is actually Dunkirk.
Oh, Dunkirk. Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay.
go a bit into why lah. I
Okay.
think like we watched like all his other movies. It's very
Did you really?
the other four. I only watched four. You know.
The one you said lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We only watch one, and it's very how to say your idea can. It's very you have the freedom to do whatever you want in a way. Like you have a like who would have thought of dream like snatch an idea in a dream, right? Like and who would have thought of like space travel, all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And what's the other movie? Inception, Tenet,
Tenet
something like that.
is- Yeah.
But for Dunkirk, it's actually a historical event,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you cannot say that you twist the story too much or so much, right? To your liking. So I think what I like is the way he presented it though.
Mm.
He presented in the three ways, in three parts, ma.
Yeah.
And
one was
it-
in air.
Yeah.
The
And then got one is the beach one.
soldier,
Yeah.
and then
Was
we
it
have
Normandy?
the,
Was it
and then-
Normandy?
No,
No,
it's
no,
not. It's a
Normandy.
different event.
and then is the other guy
And the civilian one.
who wants to be in the war.
Yeah,
Something
the
like that
civilian
one.
ship one.
Yeah.
So and he does that very well because like it highlights the three component of the event,
Mm.
and he present it in a
it's like a 360 view of the war.
yeah
right?
in a non
in a British perspective.
Yeah.
and also it's not in a chronological order also.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I was like, at first I was like, oh my, what's happening? Like why this happened? But this like get what I mean?
Yeah.
Then after that I only search out. Then the reason they do that is because by doing like that, the whole like the pace and the intensity all adds up together.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like if you're gonna separate and do it in chronological order, like it will be like
It's very,
intense.
it's like that.
Yeah.
It's like a
So
first
now,
act,
right-
second act, third act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now the whole thing is like together. I was like,
Yeah.
and yeah, I was like,
It brings you to the edge of the seat, Dunkirk.
correct.
It really does.
It's
Yeah.
it's very very you just put on edge low.
Yeah, and it doesn't care much for dialogues because
Yeah. For me, it's just the way he present the whole thing
Mm.
with the three parts and the timeline and the way he. I don't know how he planned all this together, lah.
I didn't know Harry Styles could act that well.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's like, damn, what a talent.
correct, that's
Yeah.
that's Dunkirk for me, man.
Yeah.
How about your?
Well, my number one is actually both of your number threes. It's Inception.
Inception.
Yes. I
You fall
have
down.
fallen in love with this movie a lot because I kept rewatching it a lot of times, and the more I watch it, there were more things to discover.
Hmm.
That's
And
Christopher Nolan, right?
and
It's
like
true.
to me, this film just feels it's very rewatchable. I really like the characters. I love the storyline. I love the complexity of the story because it's a dream within another dream. And then you also have like, you have when they drop into, what's the word? Into like, the place where like, they get lost in their own dreams and all these things. And then they can't come out of it.
Oh, Limbo.
Limbo,
Limbo,
yeah,
yeah.
Limbo. So
The guy, lah, the Japanese guy,
the
right?
Japanese guy,
Ken Watanabe.
yeah,
Damn
What a
sad, bro. He
good
OG,
actor,
man.
man.
By the time the ending and the beginning.
yeah. To me, I feel like Inception is just very, I don't know, it's just very rewatchable for me. And like I'm trying to search here whether it was
What are
actually
you trying to search?
I'm searching whether it was actually filmed on film. Oh yeah, okay. So it was primarily shot on
okay,
anamorphic
okay,
format
film on film.
on 35mm film, with key sequences filmed on 65mm. So when
Nolan does that for most of his films, you know.
majority,
Yeah, he films
majority.
it film and
So I think
IMAX
Dunkirk
stuff,
was
yeah.
filmed on film.
yeah.
But the reason how you know whether it's film is because like when I watch Inception most of the time, right? It's very saturated in certain colors, like
Yep.
the oranges, the reds,
Yep.
and the browns. And then like you can see that there's a certain sort of like grain to it. Although I know that for example, if you watch like Don't Look Up, right, from Netflix, that was actually filmed on film as well.
Yeah.
But it's much more clear. I think they processed it much more like clear. But this one was more like, I feel it was more like genuine like film. So it really has that filmic look, and I don't know, it's just a really great film in my opinion. Inception is my number one pick. Yeah.
Nice, man.
My
Inception.
My number one is The Prestige.
Interesting.
Okay, we don't know because we never watched.
Okay, just now you said it's about magicians.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman
and
Kristen Bale.
Got one
Michael
scene.
Caine is there
Got
as
one
well.
scene. I only saw one scene. It's like he go and pick up the hat. Cause got so many hat. It's like, which one is mine? It's like,
That's,
them are yours. Oh.
Bro, it's
Even that scene also like make me not bad.
it's so okay. Like have you ever like went to the theaters or just watched a film in general, and then you at the end of the film you have this feeling like, holy shit, like what a great film. Like that feeling you have, right? Like you know that feeling you get when you watch a really, really good film. At the end of it, you feel like really, you know that feeling. You can't put words to it, but you have that feeling, right? And then you yourself, after like you go into every film expecting that. Like I want that feeling, but ended up you get disappointed because you know at the beginning you're like, not every film is going to give me that feeling, so you kind of manage expectations a little bit, right? With Prestige, you get that feeling all the time. It's like The Prestige is the reason why I go into films wanting that feeling again.
Wow,
interesting.
Like I want to feel that way at the end of every film.
Cool.
But
because
you can get that in Prestige, not.
You can like very rare. Very rare. It's like
it's a diamond.
It's diamond in the. It's not a diamond in the rough. It's a whole other saying.
Oh, sorry, man.
But it is a diamond. It's so.
It is a diamond.
Like at the end of the film, I just stood there like, wow. Like because like. We talk about Interstellar, Inception being this really sophisticated premises. The premise in The Prestige is not so sophisticated. It's basically two magicians trying to outdo each other, right, in the 1860s. But it's very personal because there's a lot of personal losses involved in both of them, in both of their lives, right? And even the narrative structure is so crazy because it's like three timelines, right? So you have the present, it travels in its own time. And then you have like the past, it also travels in its own time. So it travels parallelly but never intersects. It only intersects at one point, like in the midpoint of the film. And then it branches like a third timeline. So like narratively speaking, it's stitched together really well. But it works because you can't do it chronologically because it wouldn't have the effect.
Correct.
You can't just go from the beginning until the end. Like I don't want to spoil it because if I were to talk about it really in depth, I'll spoil it for you. But I'll tell you this: there's the scene. So literally, two of these people, right? They're reading their journals. Like Kristen Bale is reading Hugh Jackman's journal, and Hugh Jackman's doing the same, right?
Okay.
So in the present, Kristen Bale is reading Hugh Jackman's Hugh Jackman's journal, and in Hugh Jackman's journal, he's noting down from Kristen Bale's journal. So it's like it sounds crazy, but in the film you don't think it's so simple. It's like okay, I'll just explain to you how it works, right? So right now you're reading my journal, right?
Yeah.
But in my journal, what I'm talking about is the stuff I've read from your journal.
Oh,
you get it?
Damn,
you get it? So that's how
that is complex.
Right?
Do I get it? Maybe not now.
It's like you're reading. It's like you're reading my book, and my book. I'm writing about reading your book.
Wow.
You get it?
Yeah.
You get it?
Okay,
because they're trying to outdo each other, right? So they're trying to find out stuff.
Yeah.
That's the narrative structure, which is so creative, and it's rarely done in cinema. And when it's done properly, you get it right, and he got it right. And then the performances of Kristen Bale and Hugh Jackman. I think this is Hugh Jackman's best performance, other than Logan.
Serious?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, like for real. Like it's truly. You can feel whatever Hugh Jackman is feeling. Like it's so intense. Like you kind of feel for the guy, but you also antagonize the guy a little bit. And then Kristen Bale's acting is also good because like I feel like Kristen Bale's acting, because in this movie he comes off a little bit arrogant and cocky, and he plays that so well. Like he has because Christian Bale, if you look at his face and like the kind of films he makes, like all the characters he plays, they're not really
Every time I
arrogant.
see Christopher Bale, I just think of
Batman,
Batman and American Psycho.
Oh, American Psycho is a great film. You should watch it. But anyway, he plays his cocky magician character really well. Also, this is also I think Michael Caine's of reason, because I know he's been acting for a long time. I haven't watched all his old movies, but of the movies I watched, this is his best performance. He's a more meteor. He has a more extended role than he is like in like the Batman films and all that.
Cool.
So you can really see his acting. I don't know, man. Like it's just like it almost the technicality of the film doesn't matter to me, because end of the day, you watch films because you want to feel good and you want to feel that feeling that you can't really put the word to it. Like you just got like
And you got that from
the Prestige. Like when I watch the Batman and you watch other films, I don't know, like okay, like for Batman most recently, you remember how you feel at the end of it, right? Like damn, like I wish every film is like this. Every film makes me feel like this. The Prestige.
so it's the same for
is
Prestige.
that even the ending, how he ends it. Y'all should watch it, man. It's honestly crazy.
Well, you've heard it here, guys. You gotta watch The Prestige.
like honestly, right? Because before watching
You've
Prestige,
heard how Vinod is like, oh.
before watching Prestige, I thought
cray
Inception was
about
his
it.
best film. But I swear to God, if you watch Prestige, you would think
It's the best film.
I think you either top Inception or it'd be like up there, because it's not a very sophisticated premise that makes you that, because the reason behind Inception being a lot of people's favorite film is because it has the interesting premise that makes you want to like, you know, engage. But it's not that interesting. It's very simple, but just the story is so good and the acting is so good. So please watch Prestige. Please watch Prestige.
Right, and Nolan is so known for like what is it, the narrative structure kind of thing. And then got one YouTube video.
Yeah.
He like
Brother
just,
got clear his throat.
yeah, just draw on the whiteboard the whole like how does the line go?
Yeah.
Like different movies got different one, and then he draw for that got one memento.
Yeah. He's
And
never
he cut. I was like, what is this?
It's never linear. It's never start, middle, finish. It's always going back,
He
going
draw
forward,
a
going
curve.
back, going forward.
And beginning, white, black and white, which is like the past, the present. Then he cut.
Yeah.
The what is this? What is going on, man?
Dang.
Why?
Yeah.
Which is
But when you watch the film, it makes
what
sense.
what a genius, man!
Like
this
when
guy.
you watch the film, you get why he does that.
yeah, correct.
Yeah.
It's not just done for flexing. It serves a purpose to
Yeah.
the film.
So I think we all can agree that one of the best. That's why we talk about him now, right?
Yeah.
The CH.
And yeah,
Gotta know him, guys. Christopher
all
Nolan.
of us have our own different.
CH.
CN.
CN. Oh my god, I said CH the whole
Oh,
time.
it's CH, bro.
Ayo. Christopher Holland.
Christopher
Yeah,
Nolan.
so
Christopher Nolan. CN.
all
Oh
of
my
us
God.
have our own favorite films, and we encounter Nolan differently at different times also, huh?
Yeah.
And yeah,
We encounter Nolan differently. Yeah, I met him. He was at the kopitiam
yeah, your
yesterday.
friend, right? Supposed to write the film together, one, right?
Yeah. Don't disrespect him like that. He's my BFF, man.
I see.
In my dreams,
Oh,
lah.
man.
In my lucid dreams.
Yeah, and we hope to see
I think
more
somebody,
from
I think
him.
somebody, I think
Is that-
somebody
is that-
placed an idea in your head. That's why you
is-
think that you're a
is-
good friend with him.
Is that more like
I'm just very in my own
when
head.
is the next Nolan film?
Oppenheimer. Oh my god.
Oppenheimer, right?
Do you all want to look at the cast list for Oppenheimer?
Just say lah.
It's crazy, right? So Cillian Murphy, Emily
Cillian
Blunt,
Murphy again.
Matt Damon,
Matt Damon.
Robert Downey Jr.,
Yeah.
Florence Pugh, Rami Malek, Benny Safdie,
Wow.
Dan DeHaan, Jack Quaid, Matthew Modine, Kenneth Branagh. Kenneth Branagh is the guy in the Death on the Burden Orient Express. He's the guy. Kenneth Branagh. Jason Clarke. Gary Oldman is Gordon from Batman. I'm looking at the other names here that I know, but probably you don't know. But this is a crazy. Look at this.
Wow.
And
There's
they're
a
not,
long list, man.
Yeah, and they're not like, and in these actors are not like small characters.
Yeah,
They're like
correct,
very
correct.
big names. So it's a bit
Yeah,
crazy.
And,
So I'm
and a
like,
lot of them are very familiar. Like you're like in a Nolan film before.
Yeah.
What's Oppenheimer going to be based on?
it's a film that follows this. It's based on a true story. So it's based on J. Robert Oppenheimer. He's a theoretical physicist who contributed towards the Manhattan Project. Do you know what the Manhattan Project is?
No.
Manhattan Project.
Manhattan Project is the atomic bomb project.
Oh.
Cool.
So it's based on a real story.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's crazy. Like the cast
2003,
is-
right? If not mistaken.
Yeah. Josh Peck.
Well-
Josh Peck is the guy from Drake and Josh.
Oh crap! This movie will be shot in black and white.
That's crazy.
So it's same. It's gonna be same like you know the lighthouse that was just shot in black and white.
Or Mank.
Or like Mank, yeah.
Yeah, or
or what's that? Malcolm and Marie.
Malcolm and Marie.
I have no,
or
I have no idea.
Or half of the French Dispatch.
Yeah.
Is black and white.
a bit of the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah.
Hey yo, I mean,
Yeah.
excited we are. So and that's all for today's episode. I'm gonna
Look at
stop it here. We already took quite a long time. This guy is very excited
He's
for
just
next year.
into it.
Yeah, man. He
crazy
spoke with
list.
passion.
Yeah,
And
because he's his favorite. He's his favorite.
yeah, boy,
favorite buddy.
see Nolan, his best friend,
I'm gonna
BFF.
support my buddies, you know.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk about him. We talk about our favorite films. His filmmaking style.
Hope you learned
And
something about Christopher Nolan
If you
as well.
have the time, you can go watch his movies.
Yeah, good
And
stuff.
Get mind blown by it lah. So every Monday, 10 a.m. Sometimes there are like some technical issue. That's why.
Yeah,
for
I
the
mean,
past
I think
few weeks
for
lah.
now it's okay. I blame Facebook, but yeah, everything's okay
It's
by
the-
now. Yeah.
It's the metaverse, man.
It's the technical
Yeah.
difficulties lah, that we encounter.
Yeah.
Hence why we have a Facebook page now.
Yeah. so-
yeah.
From now on, every Monday, 10 a.m.
Fingers crossed.
on
Yeah.
Our Insta and Facebook at the
Insta,
Three
Facebook, Three
Lattes, on
Lattes,
Spotify
YouTube,
and Apple Podcasts.
YouTube. Did we say
YouTube as well.
Yeah,
YouTube as well.
Yeah, so check it out. We'll see you next week.
Okay. See
That's
you.
all.
For the
Wait.
season finale.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very
Oh my
fast.
gosh. Okay.
Episode 90.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
That's all from us, man.
Bye.